Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Channel, this time coming to you from Kigali in Rwanda. This week on the program, it's campaign season in Rwanda as President Paul Kagame of the FPR seeks a 5-year term in office. Later on, we'll speak to government spokesperson Yolanda Mokolo about the UK-Rwanda Asylum deal, which is supposed to have kicked off on January of 2022. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Diplomatic Channel begins right now. President Paul Kagame has made only one promise ahead of the general elections of July 15 in the country, and that is to do what Rwandans want. He's been reiterating this in his campaign rallies across the country. Campaign season kicked off in Rwanda with that of President Paul Kagame of the Rwanda Freedom Party, otherwise known as the FPR. The 66-year-old Paul Kagame has been in power since the year 2000, following the resignation of then-President Pasteur Bizimungu. But Kagame has always walked in the corridors of power. He grew up in exile in Uganda, where in 1986 he helped overthrow Milton Obote in favor of Yoweri Museveni. In 1990 he helped direct an unsuccessful coup in Rwanda, and following the 1994 genocide that left almost 1 million Rwandans dead, he assumed control of the joint Tutsi-Hutu opposition forces that soon controlled all of Rwanda. Kagame was elected president of Rwanda in 2003 and re-elected in 2010 and 2017. His last re-election was made possible by a 2015 amendment to the constitution that superseded the limit of 2 presidential terms mandated by the 2003 constitution and allowed him to stand for a new 5-year term. Thousands of people attended his first presidential rally in Musanze, northwest Rwanda on Saturday, June 21st. Supporters had started gathering since 8 in the morning in anticipation of the FPR presidential candidate.
So President Kagame is the candidate for the ruling party, RPF Mudanyi, and people they support him because they see the progress that the country has registered. Not only that, but his leadership has led to significant progress over the last 20 years. And so one of the things that they were saying in Kinyarwanda was, you never change the team that's winning. And so that's why they will continue to vote for him.
When he finally arrives, the crowds go wild. The campaign song rents the air in praise of Paul Kagame and what he's done for the country. He finally addresses the people in the local Kinyarwanda language. He says Rwandans will need to tell him what they want him to do over the next 5 years, reminding them that power lies in the hands of the people and it is they who get to decide who leads the country. He takes a swipe at Western nations criticizing Rwanda's democracy. He says being Rwandan is the best thing in the world. He promises to deliver should Rwandans decide to trust him again. He calls on supporters to prove their love for him by turning out in great numbers to vote on July 15. During his campaign in Nyarugenge, a district in Kigali, the Rwandan capital, another large crowd of supporters await the FPR presidential candidate. The area hosts a Muslim community, one grateful to President Kagame for validating them after the genocide. The religion is practiced by just 2% of the Rwandan population. Here, President Kagame refers to Rwandans as lions who have together built Rwanda. He speaks to the youth, telling them that they are the young lions waiting to take over from the current lions. He refers to the home units and the importance of women in the home and how they help families to prosper. He says it's time to build Rwanda. Once again, the crowd is excited. People speak about their love for the president.
The president promised
our president, he promised me many infrastructure, good stadium, from many things. He promised me. Yes, because that's why I'm going to vote him. Yes, Paul Kagame, I'm going to vote him.
His Excellency is more able and capable than those ones, than those candidates, and we are here to give our voices to him.
100%. I support him 100%, and I'm going to tell this story to my kids because I have seen Rwanda growing, I have seen Rwanda developing, I have seen Rwanda becoming the center of attention in Africa.
President Kagame runs in an election with two other contenders. Frank Habineza of the Democratic Green Party of Rwanda and Philip Mpayimana, who runs as an independent. Habineza is considered Kagame's strongest opposition. We attended one of his campaigns in Nyanza district in the southern province. It is not as large as Kagame's campaigns, but it is said in Rwanda that you only need music to cajole people to rally. There are no live performances here, but the DJ works just as hard and party members try to stir the crowd with their chants and slogans. It is interesting enough for even children who have shunned school to be here. Like in other presidential campaigns, they've been waiting for the candidates who arrive shortly after 12 p.m. His message to the crowd is focused on social welfare, which explains to pressmen present at the campaign. He is confident he will win come July 15.
This time we have a better chance than 2017, because in 2017 our party was only 4 years old as a registered party, but right now we are over 10 years old. And in 2017 we were not being in any state structure. But the year after, which was 2018, we were able to also campaign in parliamentary elections, and our party got seats in parliament. We got 5% of the national vote. So we shifted from the 0.4% that I had gotten in 2017 to 5% of the national vote, which enabled us to become parliamentarians. And a year later, we were also able to front a candidate who was elected in the Senate. So our party has been having 3 seats in parliament, both 2 seats in the lower house and 1 seat in the Senate, which has also made a big, significant contribution to the country. And we also have other members who have been elected in the local councils. One who is in the district council of Lulindo, and others in the local councils. Even have some ladies here who have been elected in the women councils and different places. So we have more chances than in 2017 because of what we have been doing. But more to that, our manifesto, or the political program that we campaigned for in 2017 and 2018, has significantly been achieved. Over 70% of our promises have been achieved.
Habineza ran during the last presidential poll and garnered less than 2% of votes, while Kagame won previous elections in 2003, 2010 and 2017 with more than 90% of the vote. We'll be keeping you updated on the campaigns up until Election Day in Rwanda. In the meantime, the country made headlines a couple of years back following its asylum deal with the UK. Now, under this deal, asylum seekers, people who enter into the UK illegally, would be sent to Rwanda where their asylum will be processed. If successful, they will be returned to the UK, while others who are unsuccessful will be processed to return to their various countries. The UK has paid Rwanda £370 million for this deal in preparation to receive the asylum seekers. Now, if successful, if more than 300 people do make it to Rwanda, the country gets an additional £120 million and also gets an additional £20,000 for the development of each individual. Earlier, I spoke to government spokesperson Yolanda Makolo about the recent status of this deal. Thank you for speaking with us, Ms. Makolo. And I want to begin by asking, why is it important for Rwanda to agree to this deal with the UK?
Well, we're for the Migration and Economic Development Partnership that we have with the UK. We're a full partner in this partnership, and we are in it for the right reasons. I don't think anyone would disagree that irregular migration is a global problem that requires global solutions. It requires countries to work together. People are suffering. People are losing their lives, trying to making these dangerous journeys. And the only ones that are benefiting are the smuggling gangs that are making money out of the misery of desperate people. So Rwanda has had, in the last couple of decades, a lot of experience in caring for and welcoming refugees and migrants to this country. This is born of our own experience with migration. A lot of Rwandans have been refugees in their lives, or have had relatives who are refugees, have had to live outside Rwanda and then come back, or been internally displaced. So because of our history and the turbulent history this country has had 30 years ago and earlier, there's been a lot of movement. So we understand, we empathize with people who are caught up in conflict or are moving for one reason or another. So we went into this partnership initially driven by another partnership that we are still active in with the African Union and the UNHCR, sponsored by the European Union, to bring African migrants, asylum seekers who were stuck in Libya when the war broke out. So these were asylum seekers from different countries in Africa who got stuck in Libya when the war broke out. And there was a call by the African Union and the UNHCR for countries to host these migrants who are endangered. Some are being enslaved, tortured in detention centers. So they're in a very bad way. Rwanda offered to host these asylum seekers. Our president was the African Union chairperson at the time. So since 2019, we have actually worked with the UNHCR and the African Union to evacuate over 100 charter flights from Libya. So we have more than 2,000 people who have come to Rwanda to be housed here so they can get safety and medical treatment, and then also gain some skills while they wait for other countries to resettle them. So this is something that is part of our experience. And by the way, for the last 30 years, we've hosted 130,000 refugees. Well, we currently host 130,000 refugees. Most of them are Congolese, so they just have to cross the border from the conflict there since more than 20 years ago, and they've been living here with us. We have also a big proportion of them are Burundian. So we've been hosting them. Rwanda is a very welcoming country. We not only we're open to giving a home to people who need a home, but we also understand that they bring with them, they improve our society. We like people who like this country, who want to live here with us. So we're an open, welcoming country.
Bill is still in contention amongst UK lawmakers who are saying that This is taxpayers' money that could be put into social welfare in the UK, but Rwanda has already received about £240 million. So has the money already been deployed towards preparations to receive these asylum seekers?
Since it's a migration and economic development partnership, that means that the resources that are being invested in this partnership are also going towards improving our own communities. Because the idea is that when the migrants come, they not only get safety and they're able to claim asylum if they want, and they'll be processed through our asylum system. The idea is that they stay and they live here with us among Rwandans. We will not have any kind of detention villages or prison or refugee villages. The idea is that they're integrated into our communities. So part of the partnership is that the UK would also assist Rwanda to do more of what we're doing to improve our communities, improve our schools, better roads, infrastructure, and so forth. That's why it's not only a migration partnership, but it's also economic development partnership.
So there is no cap on how many migrants are being expected into Rwanda. What is the capacity that the country can handle?
As many as the UK will send. What we're doing is working with our partners in the UK to ensure that the people being relocated are at a rhythm that we're able to process and to assist, to integrate in a way that makes sense.
The other reason that this deal is being opposed, especially in the UK again, is critics of Rwanda's human rights record. They say that also has to be considered. You may have addressed this issue over and over again. Could you give us the government response to this?
There's nothing wrong with Rwanda's human rights record. We've done extremely well. It depends on what they're talking about. If they're talking about human rights, no one has done more for human rights in this country than this government in the last 30 years. In a few weeks, we will be celebrating 30 years since liberation, since the end of genocide. Every single indicator is better now than it's ever been in our history. And the first human right is the right to life. This government is led by a president who stopped the genocide, So, and not only that, through a policy of no revenge, through a very focused policy and practice of reconciliation and unity, Rwandans have managed to build back the social fabric of our society. And everything that you see in Rwanda today has been built by Rwandans together. There's a high level of trust between government and between the citizens and the government. And there's a high level of trust between Rwandans themselves in only 30 years. So what we've done in building, in protecting and in enhancing the rights of Rwandans has succeeded far more than we ever thought it would in a really short time. So when it comes to human rights, we're doing everything we can to ensure that Rwandans are not only regain their dignity and their safety and security, but they're able to live lives, they're able to take advantage of opportunities that this government is putting together for them. So critics can say what they want, but we know what's happening here. Rwandans know. They can look around and see what's happening. We're a country of rule of law. It's important. We have rules that govern all of us. And those who brush up against the law will have to answer to justice, and we're all accountable to that.
You cannot deny the fact that Rwanda is a poor country. I mean, majority of the country is full of villages that are still very rural, although they do have electricity, but water is still a problem, social amenities, medicines, and so on, still yet to get to hard-to-reach areas. How do you balance not putting refugees' needs above that of the people of Rwanda?
Oh, well, of course, we're not where we want to be in terms of access to electricity and water. We don't have all the infrastructure that we want. We're a very ambitious country, but we have more than we've ever had before. And the fact that we've managed to reach the levels of development that we have today gives us confidence that we can do more. We're only restrained by the amount of resources we have. The ambition is high. The more resources we have, the more we're able to do. And yes, Rwanda is poor. Still a poor country, but it's better off now than it's ever been in our history. At over 90%, in the high 90s. Our vaccination rates are among the highest in the world. Rwandans trust the service provider. They trust our health system. And for instance, we were able to get out of COVID quite quickly because we took very stringent measures. We locked down when we needed to lock down. When the vaccines became available, Rwandans were vaccinated very, very quickly because there was no vaccine hesitancy, because they trusted the services that the government was giving, because we had a system, we had a network of health centers that were able to deliver these vaccines very, very rapidly. And then we were able to get out of that situation very quickly and recover from COVID. So yes, it's still a work in progress. A part of this partnership, as I had said before, is there's economic development element in it. So Rwandans understand that yes, we are looking to integrate migrants into our community, but we're also getting extra resources into the country so that we're able to improve the services that we're giving to everyone, not just the migrants, but Rwandans as well. So if we're able to invest more in our schools, if we're able to build more roads, that's for everybody, not just the migrant, not just Rwandan. It's for everybody.
Yeah. What is the earliest that these asylum seekers can arrive in Rwanda? Because as you rightly mentioned, the deal has been delayed for about 2 years.
Well, there have been legal challenges so far. So there's a process that we understand on the UK side, and we're working with our partners to ensure that everything that's required is provided so that they're able to deal with the legal challenges. On our part, we're ready. And now that there's elections in the UK, things have changed, and we'll wait to see how that plays out in the UK. But on our part, we are ready to keep our part of the deal, and we want to be a good partner in this. We want to show that we can manage irregular migration differently, and that we can work together with countries in Africa and elsewhere to ensure that migrants have a home and that they're treated decently and they're able to live dignified, satisfied lives.
The deal involves Rwanda deciphering genuine asylum seekers going to the UK. So what happens to those who do not make the cut?
There's no such thing as not making the cut. Everyone who comes is relocated to Rwanda. Well, those who are being relocated here can apply for asylum in Rwanda. We have our own asylum process. Rwanda is a signatory to the Refugee Convention, so we will process them using our system that has been beefed up in the last 2 years. Although we do have a lot of experience in this, and then those who do not choose not to make a claim but want to live here will also be accommodated. There will be a path for them to live here legally. So you don't have to claim asylum to be able to live here for those who are relocated. Because, yes, there are people fleeing conflict, fleeing persecution. There's a lot of conflict around the world currently, but there are also people who are going on these desperate journeys because they're seeking economic opportunity. And these are human beings. They deserve it. So we are ready to work together with our partners to ensure that they get those opportunities here.
So you're saying that there is no plan to send illegal migrants who do not get approved for asylum in the UK. There's no plan to send them back to their home countries.
Absolutely not. We'll not be sending anyone away who doesn't want to leave. Rwanda does not do that. That's called refoulement in the Refugee Convention. We do not send people back to their home countries if they're going to be persecuted. Should they want to voluntarily go back to the country and there's no danger to them, we will facilitate that. Should they want to go to a third country where they're able to live legally, we will also facilitate that. But no one will be sent back unwillingly to a country that they fled from.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, Ms. Makula. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much for coming here.
This is where we end Diplomatic Channel this week. I hope it's been informative. If you'd like to reach me with a question or a comment, you can do so using any of the social media handles showing on your screen. I'm Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.